Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is round 17 of Speed Force Racing's debut season. So we're at USA. It's the US Grand Prix, Texas. So it should be an interesting race, depending on the weather. My name is Nightwalker. I'm joined by John 94 Rhinos. Just wait for John to get back to us. So yeah,
I'm back.
should be. Oh, there we go, John. So how are you doing, John?
I'm alright, thank you.
Brilliant. So, what do you think of this track? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What's your thoughts for tonight?
I don't mind certain parts of it. I don't like the first sector with all the S's. Sector 2 I don't mind because you've basically just got the long back straight. And sector 3 is quite a decent part of the track. Some I've noticed on sector 3 a lot of drivers crash out along that part. But it's an alright track, but it's not one of my favourites.
Yeah, we've just explained we have a strict corner cutting rule, so I expect that to come into quite heavy use going into sector 1 with the S's, because I got a feeling quite a few drivers are going to get invalidated laps, which will be extremely frustrating for them.
And it'll be the same on sector 3 as well, because the last two corners, if you run wide along there, it still gives you a penalty as well sometimes for it.
There you go. So a lot of dangers to look out for tonight. So just do a bit of the old chores of getting the tables out of the way. So Techno Thriller is currently the championship leader, but he's not racing tonight. He's unavailable. So that's going to give Humbug and Ramavaj quite a decent shout at trying to cut his lead down at the top. So Techno's got 212 points. Humbug on 168, as is Ramavaj on 168. Lee now 10 points back, 158, and Fletcher Boy with 120 points. So with Techno not available tonight, it's going to be quite interesting to see if Ramavaj or Humbug can make some little gains on Techno, especially even Lee now in the Williams. They're doing quite well at the moment. Lee now's on 158 points, so a win would do him wonders. Williams currently got 268 points in the Constructors' Championship. Haas on 257, Toro Rosso 226, Sauber 169. So quite a few drivers are missing tonight just because of other commitments. So we're going to have 14 racing, so hopefully they will provide us with enough... well, a good show. That'd be great for them. So, thoughts on who do you reckon's going to get pole, John?
Um, I think if Noak was racing tonight, I think Noak would have done, but I think Ramavaj will get pole tonight.
Yeah, I think that's quite a good shout. I know Ramavaj and Fletcher Boy have been trading time trial times, and I think there's only a couple of attempts in it. But it's also different transferring that speed onto a multiplayer lobby, because it's obviously so different. We're just waiting for the drivers to hit go, so we can get going. 10 seconds to go. So we should be off for the US Grand Prix. So we're starting season 2 soon of our league, so more details are going to get announced tomorrow. Also, some extra surprises should be on our page, so go to www.facebook.com/Speed Force Racing PS4. Have a look at our page. Like I say, tomorrow there'll be some exciting announcements, so it should be interesting. If you want to seat with us, just message the Facebook page and we'll get back to you and try and accommodate you to see if you can get you racing alongside the drivers we have available tonight. So, John, when you've raced around here, do you like the track, or is it just not your cup of tea?
I don't mind it. Like sector 2, I like, and some parts of sector 3, but it's just the S's round by sector 1. I lose so much time going around there or run wide, and it's just a horrible part of the track.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on sector 3 myself. I don't mind sector 1. It's tricky, but if you get it right through the S's, you're kind of halfway there, getting a decent sector 1 lap time. So I think major time's probably going to be earned through probably the S's. Probably be the biggest one.
Nice sunshine as well.
There we go. That's brilliant news. So we're just going to wait, see if we get some weather detail passed through the messages, so we get to let the viewers know what we're expecting tonight. Hopefully, it's going to be dry in the race, because that would be great.
I'd rather have some rain in the race.
There you go. John's got some evil thoughts there for the drivers. You never know. It could be interesting.
They had sunshine last week. So I want tonight. They need a bit of a challenge tonight. So they got to have a bit of rain.
Race report is coming as dry for both sessions, so quite interesting. So we've got the compounds, you've got ultra softs, super softs and softs for the dry tyres, and obviously you've got your inters and 4 wet tyres, but they won't be needed. So I know the engineer will say to go for a 2-stop in the race, but if you've got the speed and you can time it right, you might be able to get a 1-stop out of it. So we'll just see. We're on board with currently the Williams on the outlap of Fletcher Boy.
All 4 drivers are out at the minute, all on ultra softs as well.
That's it, yeah. So Fletcher Boy, Humbug, Lord JB and S Graham are currently on their outlaps. So we'll wait for see what Ramovaj is doing. He's in the pits at the moment. He's got the super softs fitted in the pits, so he might let the track settle down a bit just to get enough space to have a brilliant time lapse if we can get out there. Oh, he's coming out now, so
and he's the only person that's on super softs. Everyone else at the minute is on ultras.
So it just shows you that he may be just thinking about the race, Ramovaj, trying to get probably the most useless tyre out of the compounds out of the way. It just depends. I suppose you could go ultra softs and soft tyres for the race, but it's going to make you a lot slower.
What will be interesting is if Ramovaj gets pole on super softs and everyone goes on ultras, he's going to have some speed when he goes on them ultra softs.
Yeah, exactly that. So it's quite interesting because Ramovaj's got quite a lot to gain here, as has Humbug and I suppose Lee Nell. I know Lee Nell's 10 points further behind Humbug and Ramovaj, but you know, if Ramovaj was to get the win today with Techno Thriller missing, it would leave, I think, Ramovaj about 19 points away from Techno Thriller's lead at the title. So it could be quite close going into the closing rounds, but currently with the US Grand Prix, so a lot of business yet to get done before we can look further on.
At the minute we've only got 2 drivers left in the pits, which are Decadent and Gaius Mudkip, and to be honest, I like what they do, what them two are doing, just stay in the pits, because it's what I do as well. I stay in the pits till about 4 minutes to go, and then I start making my way out, then I just see what other people are doing, and then come out after that.
So, currently on board Fletcher Boy, we stayed with him during his outlap. He's sector 1 timer 25.526. So let's see what Ramovaj can do. If you can keep an eye on that for us, please, John.
Which driver?
Ramovaj.
Okay, I'm watching him now quickly.
So,
the only problem with Ramovaj there is Gaius Mudkip's just come out of the pits, and he is ruined Ramovaj's lap there.
Well, that's a shame there, so that's going to cost him a set of tyres for the race, you'd think. I know Ramovaj might back off and maybe get an extra lap out the super softs. Ultra softs, you've probably got one good lap on them. Oh, that's a tough spot there. So sector 3 currently in with Fletcher Boy. Let's see what he can do. We're looking maybe about 133s, maybe 134s for qualifying lap times. We'll see if we can get anywhere near it. Perfect conditions for the drivers, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So we're going to see what Fletcher Boy does. He's going around the last few corners.
Fastest lap in with a 1:35.4.
Yeah, so we're expecting that to get beat, but Lord JB doing a decent starter lap there for the rest of the field to beat a 1:34.041 for Fletcher Boy. We'll go on board with Ramovaj. Let's see what he can do. He still looks like he's going for it in sector 2 with a pretty decent time. Blood and Sand going through in provisional 3rd, now going provisional 4th. Gamey Things with a decent lap time. He's only just under a second off Fletcher Boy, but Gamey Things brilliant. If he can get high up in the grid order, it could bode well for him in the race because he's quite hard to get past. So Ramovaj is letting other cars go past. We'll go on board with CBO Land, about to finish his lap. He's on the Ultra Softs and McLaren Honda. He doesn't improve. We'll go with Blood and Sand. He's going into provisional 6 at the moment, so we'll give a quick rundown. Provisionally, it's Fletcher Boy in
Smelly
first.
Badger's got 2 more corners to go, and he's on the super softs at the minute.
Yeah, we'll
Coming
jump on
up to
board
the final
then.
corner now.
That's it. The Sauber of Smelly Badger going around the last corner. He's on the super soft tyres. It's a good indication for Ramovaj what he can do. He goes in 8th at 1:37.9. Ramovaj is pitting, so that would be for a new set of tyres. We'll go on board with Humbug. He's 2/10 of a second down on the leading time at the moment. He's on the Ultra Softs in the Red Bull, in the Toro Rosso, sorry. So let's see if we can get anywhere close.
One more corner to go.
Quickly switch to Decadent. He's going to go past, and let's see what lap time he sets. He's not set nothing because he's just on his outlap. So Humbug He's pitting. So quite an interesting there. Maybe not up for the battle. Ramavaj is in the pit at the moment, so we'll go through the provisional grid at the moment. First place.
winning the pits as well.
So Fletcher Boy is currently provisional pole, 134.041. Gaming Things less than a second behind him. Second, Chopper is third, quite closely. 300ths for second between Gaming Things and Chopper. Racing Podge currently provisional fourth. Lee now fifth. Lord JB sixth. Seventh, Blood and Sand. Smelly Badger is eighth. So we're going board with.
What I've noticed is all these drivers, they're going back into the pits. It all looks like they're all going slow round. They're not trying to torture their tyres or anything like that.
So on board with the McLaren Honda, CBO Land opens his DRS wide open and he puts in the quickest lap. Only by 100th of a second though between him and Fletcher Boy. So CBO Land currently on provisional pole, which would be good for him if he can keep in the top three. I think would be great result for qualifying for the driver. Go on board with the other Williams, Lee Now. So Lee Now and Fletcher Boy and the Williams are currently constructors leaders. We've only a few races left, but Haas are right behind them, but I don't think there's no Haas drivers running tonight, so it's time for Williams to open up their advantage. So Lee Now going down
one
on
more
big straight.
corner to go. I think it's going to be about 135, I reckon. Maybe 134, 134.2.
So third place currently for Decadent. Decadent seems to have a little bit of a resurgence currently. Had a few bad races, but seems to be getting right back into the swing of things, which is brilliant. So Fletcher Boy's got a lot to think about. He's got to try and get past CBO Land, but he's also got the incoming threat of Ramavaj, who's currently on his outlap. So we'll just stick with Ramavaj. So your thoughts on Ramavaj then? Over his comeback, he's won a race. He's actually tied second in the Drivers' Championship as well.
Yeah, I've noticed he's a really quick driver. Just been interesting to have seen him race throughout the whole season to see. Like, he probably would have had the championship by then, by what I was told with the first 5 races. But yeah, he's done a good response since coming back, winning last week, and he might make it another win tonight.
Yeah, it's a strange situation where a driver can miss so many races, and he's only competed in this 7th race. This will be for Ramavaj, and he's tied second in the championship. Just shows you the calibre of the driver. He's ending his outlap now, so he's going to be on the time lap for his first time run. He's got 3 minutes 40 seconds, so this is probably going to be his last, his only run actually. And he's got a bit of traffic in front of him with a Mercedes. So Fletcher Boy's still sitting in the pits. He'll probably leave in a little bit.
And that is S. Graham that's in front of him.
So S. Graham is on his outlap, so it should allow Ramavaj through. So hopefully that happens. But Ramavaj sets a 25.062. That's 0.5 of a second quicker than Fletcher Boy was in Sector 1. So he's on a charge at the moment. So he's gonna, if he keeps up this pace, he should beat CBO Land for provisional pole. But obviously CBO Land's gonna have another go.
Down this back straight there. It just seems to me S. Graham's just trying to pull away from him.
Interesting there. So either S. Graham is on the time lap and the display's quite wrong, or he's just trying to get a bit of heat into the tyres with heavy braking. Looks like he's trying to move over the way. Yep, there you go. S. Graham doing the right thing, letting Ramavaj through. So Ramavaj is going into the end of Sector 2, 25.062 for his Sector 2 time. He's going in Sector 3 now. This is where time's going to matter because there's a few awkward corners, a few awkward braking points. So he's got to get a little bit right. A little bit of a slide there by the Red Bull driver.
This corner here, well. I like this quite a bit, this corner here.
Yeah, it's a little throwback to the Turkish Grand Prix. A few of them corners there. Brilliant track. The Turkish Grand Prix was awesome. Hopefully we'll get back in the future, but Ramavaj is coming around for the last corner now on the ultra soft tyres. A little slide there. He opens his DRS and he goes first at 134.001. Look how close it is between CBO Land and Fletcher Boy. It's going to be quite tight. So CBO Land's on his outlap, and Fletcher Boy is on his outlap as well as Ramavaj retires from the session. He can't really do another lap. I think that's quite a good time, 134.001. We will get into the 133s, John.
I don't think we will. I just can't see it. But then I want to see a driver now prove me wrong.
Well, that's it. Hopefully we will get that. 133 is tempting. If CBO Land or Fletcher Boy could probably break it, that would be quite encouraging for him going into the race. But the top 7 drivers all within a second of Ramovaj. That is quite impressive considering the pace of Ramovaj. So should be a good little battle going into turn 1.
Should be. It just shows how tight this league is. You've got 7 drivers that are within a second of each other.
So Fletcher Boy has done a 25.5 again for his sector 1 lap, for his sector 1 time. So he's going to probably be about half a second down on Ramovaj. So we'll switch to CBO Land. Got less than a minute left. He's on his final run in qualifying. Can he get that extra little bit of time to get past Ramovaj? We'll see. He's going through sector 1. So Ramovaj got a 25.026 sector 1 time. We'll see what CBO Land can do. Going through the S's now. Got to get it right just to keep it flowing through. If you get it a little bit wrong, it messes up the sector 1 for you. And he gets a 25.7, so he's even down on his own time. So that's not encouraging for CBO Land.
25.5 sector 2.
Yeah, 25.526 for Fletcher Boy in sector 2, so he's going into sector 3. Not as much of a slide as Ramovaj had, so it's either the tyres are just behaving a little bit better for him as Racing Pod retires in 9th provisionally. Lord JB is currently provisional 10th, so it could be good for him. He's got good race pace, so we'll see what's happening. Guys, his Mudkip has not set a time, so Fletcher Boy is coming round the last corner in the Williams. Let's see what lap time he can do. He does a 1:35.568. Where did that come from? What a brilliant lap time by Fletcher Boy.
CBO Land's done a 25.712.
Oh, and he's messed it up. Ah, unfortunate for CBO Land.
For me there.
So, Fletcher Boy getting a 1:33.568, over 4/10 of a second quicker than Ramovaj on the same tyres. Does that interest you for the race?
Yes, it does, yeah. Someone getting into... If that's going to be the only driver that's getting to the 1:33s, then that'd be interesting. But I think Ramovaj would have... Oh, CBO Land's gone quicker.
That was odd, because we saw him going off.
Got to be a bit of lag there then.
There must have been a bit of lag. So CBO Land getting a 1:33.392, so no 0.2 of a second quicker than Fletcher Boy. Quite a bit of shocks there. I don't know if Ramovaj just got in his head that he can just take a little bit easy. I know he's suffering with a headache earlier in the day, but it's all up for Ramovaj to try and cut the gap down to Techno Thriller. Humbug currently struggling. It's 8th provisionally at the moment, so let's
sort of
see.
shocked me there with CBO Land, because as we saw, he went off the track, and then next thing you know, he's putting in the fastest lap.
It just shows you what drivers can do when they can just pull out a rabbit out of the hat and get a quality lap time.
It shocked me quite a bit.
Yeah, that is 0.6 of seconds of Ramovaj. That's quite impressive. Hopefully we don't have no lag issues with him. I know that's not the greatest subject with CBO Land at the moment, but looks like the cars are all finished for the session, so our grid will look like CBO Land will be in pole position. A brilliant pole lap for him there. Fletcher Boy 2nd, 3rd is Ramovaj. 4th, Chopper with a brilliant lap. 4th place for him on the start of the grid. Decadent Insurgent's just come in. He's actually getting better and better with each race now after a mid-season slump. So Decadent 5th, Lee now 6th. 7th is Gaming Things, Humbug is 8th, Racing Podge 9th. 10th is Lord JB, guys, his Mudkip will start 11th. 12th is Smelly Badger. 13th, Blood and Sand, S. Graham 14th. So it's going to be a difficult turn 1, I suppose, for top 4 or 5 drivers. They've just got to make sure they nail it and try and keep themselves out of trouble, so they can try and chip away at the lead that Techno Thriller's got. Like we say, Techno Thriller unavailable tonight, so Humbug, Ram, Lee now have got a lot to gain from his opportunity he's given them. So it should be quite an interesting race. He got 20 turns around this 3.4 mile circuit. Long back straight, which should encourage overtaking, but it just depends if you're close enough to use the advantage DRS as well. So we're hopefully the guys on the ultra soft, if they go to maybe lap 9 and 9:10, they should be able to do a 1 stop, but could it be quicker doing a 2 stops? I think we're going to find out. We'll see what the top guys do, and I'm probably going to say they're going to go 1 stop.
Be interesting to see the people outside the top 10 see what strategy they're going to go. Are they going to use super softs, or are they going to try the softs and just go as long as possible?
So there we go. As stated before, first, CBO Land, Fletcher Boy second, Ramovaj third, Chopper fourth, Decadent fifth, Lee Now is sixth, seventh, Gamey Things eighth, Humbug ninth, Racing Podge Lord JB is 10th, Guys is Mudkip 11th, Sommelier Badger 12th, Blood and Sand 13th, and S Graham 14th. Like to remind you guys that a few drivers are unavailable tonight, that's why we've only got 14 on the grid. Hopefully next week it should be a better turn up. But like I say, Season 2 is starting very shortly, so remember to go to www.facebook.com/SpeedForceRacingPS4 or www.instagram.com/SpeedForceRacingPS4. Join us, follow us on each platform, and listen. Look out for the latest news, especially tomorrow. Some big news dropping, hopefully.
And just notice as well with that qualifying, the top 6 were separated by less than a second between them.
That's quite interesting. So that should be a good race. You know, I initially thought Ramovaj might run away with it, but looks like CBO Land and Fletcher Boy got a bit of pace in the locker as well, which should be good. So we're just waiting for the guys to probably I think they just hit OK now. They don't do their race strategy until the next little bit, I think. Not race for that long, it just can't remember. So we're going to go on the formation lap. So we've got 28 laps, 50% race. Hopefully in the future we'll do a few 100% races, but we'll just see what's going to occur tonight. So CBO Land, it will leave the field around. Important just to see what the track's like. Tracks should be like qualifying now with a dry race expected. I know sometimes in Texas the rain will pour down, but luckily tonight we're going to have a dry race. So Fletcher Boy is probably, it's way too far away from the Drivers' Championship, but he can help his team get the Constructors' Championship with another solid finish along with Lee Now. Williams drivers doing really brilliantly, gaining decent points at the close of the season. So 3 races after this one, so Williams got it all to do to protect that lead. So it should be quite interesting to see who the Drivers' Championship will be, because Techno's on 212 and both Humbug and Ram 168 points. So if they can make a good start to the race, they should be able to cut that point deficit down a little bit.
I think that Drivers' Championship is going to go right down to the last race, which is what we want to see.
Yeah, that was interesting, because about a couple of races ago it looked like, before Ramovaj joined again, it looked like it was Techno's Championship and it was just about him protecting his lead. But it seems to have been not going well for him. Maybe a bit of pressure getting to him in a few races where he's not had the best of starts in the race, and his race pace has been pretty poor. But let's just see, it's all there for grabs, and Ramovaj and Humbug are the closest to it. Lee Now, of course, is in there 10 points behind Ramovaj and Humbug, but looks like it's going to be quite tasty going into the last couple of races. So the drivers are lining up on the field. Lord JB's already there. So let's see who we're going to keep an eye on. We'll stay on board with Ramovaj for the race start, because I've got a funny feeling he might try and make a little move on Fletcher Boy, because he's got to get past Fletcher Boy, I'd say, to probably set his race off to a great start. So we'll just wait for the field to line up.
One driver I'm watching is CBO Land. I'm just going to, you're going to have to let me know on this one. Is this CBO Land's first like pole position of the season?
I think it is, yes.
So it'd be interesting to see how he does starting in pole.
5 red lights and they're off. A quick release there. CBO Land not getting off to a great start there. Don't know what's happened there. That's quite interesting. So
no,
interesting.
It's lag.
Lag. Look at the lag. It is absolutely terrible. That'd be doing no other driver any justice. So Fletcher Boy has got into first place. So CBO Land retires. Chopper's currently in 3rd position. Brilliant for him. He's trying to take it to Ramovaj, but Ramovaj looks like he's pulling away a little bit. He's 5/10 of a second behind Fletcher Boy. So Fletcher Boy is just going to try and eke out his lead a little bit, but you know Ramovaj has got a lot of pace in his locker. So Chopper's 3rd, Lee Now climbed a place to 4th, Humbug 5th, Decadent 6th. Decadent's lost out there. Gamey Things is 7th. Gamey Things actually 6th now, making a move on Decadent. So the Ferrari driver getting early moves in, which is brilliant to see. So Decadent's 7th, guys. It's Mudkip is 8th. Racing Podge
Something must have happened to Lord JB, because he's quite far back from everyone at the minute.
Yeah, interesting there. Lord JB seems to be having technical issues as well. It was affecting him earlier, but Ramavaj is closing down now on Fletcher Boy. Let's see how these two can battle it out. They both good friends as well, so it should see if they give them each other a bit of racing respect. Chopper is in front of Lee now. Lee now doing all he can to try and get points for the constructors, but he's still got a little sniff in the Drivers' Championship, so he's got to try and get the pace down as well, try and get a move on Chopper. Ramavaj still 5/10 of a second behind Fletcher Boy. Williams driver will be feeling it. He'll be under a little bit of pressure. It's still early in the race, but this is the first stint is where you set yourself up for the race. You've got to try and eke out the performance in these tyres, see if you can do that one stop, or if the two stop will be better for him. So
Just having a quick look as well. Blood and Sand, who started outside the points, is on super softs. Guy's Mudkip is on super softs. Smelly Badger's on super softs. And I think that was everyone that was outside
Ramavaj there, mucking it up a little bit during the S's and has gone off. That's going to cost him a bit of time. He's dropped 6/10 of a second there, so not too punishing for him, but just showing you that his car is a little bit unsettled going through the S's with the turbulent wind coming off the Williams of Fletcher Boy. Chopper's having a little eye now on Ramavaj. This is opening it up for Chopper to have maybe a little bite at Ramavaj going into the braking zone after this long straight. Quite a few drivers all closely tucked between each other. Humbug's got pressuring Lee now a little bit, so Humbug, another driver who's second in the Drivers' Championships, he's got to try and get past Lee now, but Lee now is quite tough to get past as Smelly Badger gets past S. Graham there. So Lord JB is currently 13th. Something must have happened there, which is probably we'll find out after the race, but quite interesting to see what happened there. We're going board with Humbug. He's trying to have a little look at Lee now, the Toro Rosso driver, trying to put him under pressure. Looks like Lee now.
He did. Humbug just had a look down the back straight, having a look down there to see if he could go up the inside, but he backed out of it because I think he knew that there was no chance of going up the inside of him there.
Alright, on board with Gamey Things, got the Renault driver right behind him. We'll try and stick with this. The Renault driver's Declan trying to have a little
Humbug is past
look.
Lee now ran wide, second to last corner, and Humbug's got in front of him.
We'll try and keep all cars in picture if possible. Look, Lee Nell having a little look. Let's see what Decadent's doing. Decadent's not going to try and make a move past Gamey Things, so they're going to follow each other through the S's. Lord JB is making grounds now. He's at 12th position, so he's got past guys at Mudkip, who's actually pitting a very early pit stop for the driver there.
Humbug's got a little bit of a train going on behind him now, with Lee now, Gamey Things and Decadent all behind him.
It's quite interesting that Ramavaj is a second behind Fletcher Boy, so this could be him trying to preserve his tyres so the turbulent air is not affecting tyre wear for him, but I don't know, it could be Fletcher Boy is on the race of his life. It could be a decent performance from him that will push his team closer to the Constructors' Championship.
But it'd be interesting because we saw it last week, didn't we, at Japan, of when Ramavaj went in and done the undercut on Noak.
Exactly that, yeah. So it's always
So
the driver's got some.
Ramavaj does it again.
He's got some good race mentality as Ramavaj, where he can pick and choose where he thinks the undercut's going to work. As we heard in the interview last week, he knew where he was going to get the undercut on the driver, which is pretty amazing that a driver can think like that. So we've got a big train now behind Humbug, as John mentioned earlier. Lee now
Racing
4/10
Podge
behind
was
him.
just joining it there, but he's just now backed off a little bit more.
Decadent having a look at Gamey Things. Gamey Things left the door open there, but he's closed the door going into the entry in that corner. So Decadent he started strong in the race, but dropped to a couple of positions. But he looks like he's trying to get back into it. He's got his teammate Racing Podge behind him now.
First person going into the pits is Smelly Badger, has just gone in. Trying to see if it's front wing damage or anything. Oh, we've now got 5 seconds stop going.
Speeding in the pit lane, that's unfortunate for him. A lot of drivers are not getting warnings for corner cuttings. That's a pretty good sign. Looks like they're trying to be more controlled around the circuit. We're going board with Decadent again. He's trying to have a go at Gamey Things. He got past Gamey Things, and Gamey Things retook the position. So it's quite interesting to see these two drivers. Gamey Things notorious to get past. He's such a great defensive driver. So Decadent's got it all.
As well.
Ferrari brake
went
then.
into the pits a little while ago.
Yeah, he put on these soft tyres. Declan got caught out there by Gamey Things braking, and it put him into his teammate. So Racing Podge going to have a little run on Declan up the long straight. So Decadent Racing Podge, closest battle we've got on field at the moment, but Ramovad just closed the gap to Fletcher Boy to 0.8 of a second now. There was 1.2 seconds on the previous lap. Lee now also getting closer to Humbug, so it's getting quite interesting. Let's see what Humbug can do. He's in the Drivers' Championship battle as well, so it's important for him to get some decent points. Ramovad just second now behind Fletcher Boy, so Fletcher Boy has got some good race pace to him, and it's as long as he's not punishing his tyres too much, he should be able to get to the strategy he thinks will win him the race. Racing Podge and Decadent closing up to each other there. Let's see if the teammates will play the team game. Gamey Thing's going quite wide there, and that's allowing... looks like Decadent's going into the pits. Here's Gamey Things now. He's racing side by side by Racing Podge. Racing Podge gets the move done. So Gamey Things kind of tougher on Decadent, but Racing Podge got past quite easy there, so that's quite interesting. 1.2 seconds is the gap between first and second. Fletcher Boy doing all he can to try and keep that lead to over a second, so he doesn't get into DRS range going down that start-finish straight or long straight as well.
That some of these people on the Ultra Softs are going in quite early to change their tyres. Yeah,
it's very early. We're expecting, hopefully, the leading few drivers to probably come in lap 9, 10. That would probably put them into one-stop strategy. But with drivers going in early, it looks like it's going to be a two-stop. Look at Gamey Things all over the back of the Renault driver. Racing Podge trying to do as best he can, defending into the corner before the start-finish, the long back straight. Look at that, Racing Podge. He's going to have Gamey Things actually going to have DRS. So that's going to be quite interesting. Racing Podge won't have that benefit, and he's got the blood and sand.
What happened there was
with
Racing
DRS.
Podge, when he went up the inside, his back end didn't want to go the same end as the front end, and he almost lost it completely.
Also good driving then to keep it on track. Lord JB is in 11th, Smelly Badger 12th, guys. It's Mudkeeper 13. CBO Land, I don't think it is racing due to technical issues, which is a shame for the driver. But Lee now is still within 0.8 of a second. Humbug is over 4 seconds now behind Chopper. We'll go check on the other guys. So we'll go through a little bit of a rundown. So Fletcher Boy doing all he can. He's 1.6 seconds in front of Ramovad. Early on in the season you wouldn't have expected that, but it looks like as the season's gone on, Fletcher Boy is getting more and more he's improving his skill. Gamey Things pit in there. Ultrasoft on lap 6 out of 28, so tyre wear is pretty tough for the driver, it looks like, as the Ultrasoft guys are pitting earlier than expected. So Ramovad is in second. He's 1.5 seconds behind Fletcher Boy. Chopper 3.7 seconds behind Ramovad, but he won't mind. He's in a podium position currently at the moment. He's got Humbug 4 seconds behind. Lee now 1.1 seconds behind Humbug, having a little slide coming out of the corner, going through the S's now, with Humbug just in sight, so if he can get a little bit closer he might be able to get DRS down the back straight. Blood and sand all over the back of Racing Podge. Renault driver doing quite well. His teammate is in 10th after an early pit stop. So let's see what Blood and sand can do. He's on the Super Softs going against Racing Podge on the Ultra Softs, so Super Soft tyres should last a few more laps than the Ultra Softs, but let's see what Racing Podge can do. He's going to get attacked down this long back straight.
And Blood and sand just got a 3-second time penalty as well that's just come out.
Oh, that's a shame for him, but he's still going to give it. He's got DRS wide open. They're going into the heavy braking zone there. Racing Podge just keeps ahead of Blood and Sand. Go on board with Decadent. He's all over the back of Gamey Things.
You've seen the same battle as what I've just gone to.
That's it, DRS wide open. Let's see what the Renault driver can do. As we said, Gamey Things very notorious to pass. It looks like Racing Podge Decadent, is trying to get the inside line, and he gets it made. He's gone on the outside now. Let's see if Gamey Things tries to switch back. He can't do it. So the Renault driver keeping in front. 3-second time penalty for Humbug. Ramovad is pitting early. That is a very early pit. 2 laps. So that's going to be a 2-stop strategy for Ramovad. So he's going to go on to assume the super soft tyres. So we'll see what happens there.
He's gone on ultras again. It says on my screen.
Yeah, there you go. Ultra soft tyres. That put him down. That's interesting there. So we'll see what he can do going forward in the race. Blood and Sand are currently on board with him. He's chasing down Racing Podge. The Renault driver doing quite well. He's trying to get some time back from Lee now. Lee now 1.4 seconds behind Humbug. Humbug in third position. He will like that very much. It gives him much needed points.
It'll be interesting now, like I was saying about 5 minutes ago about Ramovad last week doing the undercut on Noak. So it'll be interesting to see now when Fletcher Boy goes into the pits.
So I'll write that down. Lap 7 for Ramovaj. So it's all up to Fletcher Boy to see what he can do. He was about 1.6 seconds in front of Ramovaj before Ramovaj pitted. So it should be quite an interesting little tactical battle between Fletcher Boy and Ramovaj going forward. Gamey trying to get that position back from Decadent. The Renault driver is about 8 tenths of a second in front of the Ferrari driver. Ferrari driver will get DRS advantage going down the back straight. So it should be quite interesting. Gamey on the hardest compound, why Decadent on the medium compound, and the dry tyres available for this race. So Gamey
Seems like
got DRS wide open.
Decadent and Gamey Things.
Let's see what can... Gamey I don't... See, Gamey had quite an interesting qualifying, so let's see. I know he's got good race pace, but not as good as the others. He's just a very great defensive driver. Ramovaj is in 7th, and he's right behind Blood and Sand now. Let's see what he can do. That Chopper pits there, Fletcher Boy goes around. Look at this, so Ramovaj all over the back of Blood and Sand. The Ferrari driver will be feeling extreme pressure. Ramovaj on the new ultra soft tyres, just pitted. He's got DRS going down the start finish straight. It's going to look like an easy move. He tries to make his position known. He's going to go onto the inside into turn 1. Let's see what Blood and Sand can do.
A lot of drivers are pitting. Chopper's come out on softs. I'm trying to find which drivers it is. Yeah, Chopper's out on softs.
Lee now pitting for softs.
Yep, and Racing Pod, he's on ultras.
So quite interesting there. A lot of the field changing their strategy, I assume, on the go. It just looks like the tyre wear's caught them off guard a little bit. So 16, nearly 17 and a half seconds between Ramovaj and Fletcher Boy. So that's going to be quite interesting going into pits. It looks like the undercut might be working for Ramovaj. Let's see what Fletcher Boy can do though. So we're going board with Chopper behind his teammate in the Mercedes. Is Chopper going to get loud pass by S. Graham? Chopper on the hardest compound is going down the back straight now, so it's going to get DRS, and it's going to be an easy move on his teammate. His teammate will allow that.
Lee Nell's behind Gamey Things at me. He's going to have DRS as well.
So Chopper getting the move done on his teammate there, and we're going on board with the Williams of Lee Nell, chasing down the Ferrari driver of Gamey Things. Let's see what Lee Nell can do. He's on the soft tyres, so he's probably going to do a one stop, so he's got to try and keep it nice and tidy. A little bit of a lock up going into the braking zone there. He's trying to keep it nice and close.
Together off Chopper and S. Graham in 5th and 6th.
Oh, Lee's making a little move there. He's had a little bit of a lock up. Looks like the drivers avoided contact there, so the Ferrari driver and the Williams driver.
We've got the top two in the pits. Fletcher Boy's gone in on softs, and Humbug is... Oh wait, I'm still waiting. He's on softs
as well. So Fletcher Boy is 2.5 seconds. He's lost a lot of time there, going 2 laps longer than Ramovaj. So Ramovaj doing wonders with the undercut, but he's got a pit again. Looks like Fletcher Boy is going for the one stop.
But now, I think what was key for Ramovaj as well, when a lot of the other cars went in, like Lee Nell and stuff, that helped Ramovaj out a lot, because you didn't want to be behind them cars for another lap. Now he was, when they all pitted, he was in 3rd, and then obviously the front two went in, and now Ramovaj's got nice clean end. I think what he's going to try and do now, he's going to try and get a big gap, and then he can go in and pit.
We're on board with Decadent. He's on super soft tyres, chasing down the Humbug, who's pitted for the soft tyres. So Decadent's got to make a move, because it looks like it's going to be 2 stopping, where Humbug will probably be staying out for this the rest of the race now.
We've got Gamey Things behind Lee now as well, which is not far behind Decadent, the battle that you're watching.
Go on board with Gamey Things, got DRS wide open, all over the back of the Williams driver. Let's see what Lee Nell can do. A little bit of a lock up there. The Ferrari driver not locking up as much, so let's see if he can get closer going through this tight little bit of a section. It's quite an awkward corner that is, but Gamey Things makes it okay, and he's only 5 tenths of a second behind Lee Nell. Go on board with Decadent. He's still chasing down Humbug. Humbug has got to make some pretty decisive decisions going forward, because he's still in the Drivers' Championship hunt, and he's got to try and keep it clean. He doesn't want to go into battles with drivers that he knows just not worth battling yet because of strategy choice.
They're the only closest battle we've got so far, between 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th. Oh, and you've got Racing Podge now that's joining it in 9th.
So there you go, Lee Nell, Gamey Things and Racing Podge, a little mini train going on. Decadent still trying to chase down Humbug. He's got to try and make this move before Humbug's tyres get up to temp and gives him better performance. Blood and Sand getting a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting.
And Fletcher Boy is 4.4 seconds behind Ramavaj at the minute, but as you know, Ramavaj has got to go back in and pit soon.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Ramavaj will be quicker at the end, but he's not going to have the ultra soft tyres. He's going to have to switch compounds, so quite an interesting call there by Ramavaj. So we'll see what that happens out further on in the race. Go on board with Decadent, the Renault driver, and we'll have DRS. He's going to activate. He's activated it now, so he's got a long run down to try and chase Humbug. But Humbug's got quite, it looks like it must be running a little bit of a low aero because he's got quite good speeds, still keeping out of reach of the Renault driver, even with DRS assistance.
That seems to be the closest battle so far. Gamey Things and Racing Pods, they're not in DRS range of each other, but Decadent's the only one that's in DRS range of someone.
It's quite interesting, Ramavaj strategy call. We could call it brave because we're so early on in the race, but it's going to be interesting to see what he can bring to the table going into his next stop. He's obviously going to have to go onto super soft tyres just to have a bit of a performance edge over the over Fletcher Boy, who will be on quite worn soft tyres going on later into the race.
I think that's what he's looking at. I think he's knowing if he can just pull a gap to Fletcher Boy, go in and put some fresh tyres on. If Fletcher Boy's doing a one stop, obviously his tyres are going to be absolutely wrecked come near the end of the race. So Ramavaj probably looking at it that way.
Chopper's all over the back of Blood and Sand. So Chopper has already made his pit stop. Looks like he's going to do a one stop, and he's currently in 4th. So he's got to try and get past Blood and Sand. Blood and Sand will be pitting again. He's on super soft tyres. So see what Chopper can do. Chopper's been quite surprising. He got quite good qualifying, and also he's quite strong in the race. So that's quite good for him. He's been quite quick at some races this season. It's just some instance just cost him a few positions. We're going to go on board with Decadent. He's a second behind. Chopper gets past Blood and Sand. There we go. But it looks like Blood and Sand's trying to have a little run back at him. He's going to try going onto the inside, is he? But nope. Mercedes driver there, keeping it nice and controlled, and great bit of defensive driving from him. So Chopper's in the position that he ideally wants to be in. He's on for a top 3 finish if he can keep his tyre wear down, because the track is quite high with degradation going for the tyres that we've selected for the race. So it's going to be quite an interesting race. Let's see what Chopper can do. Fletcher Boy is 4.3 seconds behind Ramavaj. If he can keep it under, I think if he can keep it under the 4 seconds before Ramavaj pits, it could be quite interesting going into the later stages of the race. Blood and Sand getting another time penalty there for corner cutting. It's quite tough. The stewards this week. So we'll see what's going to happen with the penalties going.
One thing I've noticed with this race so far, there's a lot of penalties going out, so you don't know what position people are going to be in coming in. They might finish in 4th or 5th, but they could have like 3. They could have 3 penalties sitting there, and they could drop down to 7th or 8th quite easily.
That's it. So like drivers in that position have got to try and make that extra time out on track, which is so hard to do, considering everyone's on equal performance. So you've got to have a certain skill level where you can pull out an extra few seconds during the race. But over 28 laps, a few seconds is quite hard to gain unless you're the likes of Ramavaj at the moment with brilliant pace. Chopper is a massive 13 seconds behind Fletcher Boy in 2nd. So if Chopper can keep, I think if Chopper can keep in front of Humbug, it's going to be quite good, because Humbug will get the jump on Blood and Sand when it pits. Go on ball with Racing Podge on the ultra soft tyres, chasing down the Ferrari. Gamey Things on the soft tyres. He's got DRS wide open. He's having a little look, having a little weave there, just to have a little look past Ferrari driver, but he's not going to get the move done. Decadent is also close to Humbug, so Humbug getting under pressure there by the Renault driver there. So Renault drivers are both on the attack during the race, both on different compounds at the moment, but still giving it their all. Lord JB currently last out the runners in 13th. It will be interesting to see what happened to his start of his race to make him drop right back to the back of the field there.
Just can quickly see if everyone, just about to say every driver apart from Blood and Sand hasn't pitted, but Blood and Sand's in the pit now.
So Blood and Sand will drop quite a way back, but he will have that performance edge. Not that much though, there's still a massive 15 laps to go of the race. So Humbug is in 4th. So yes, going on the soft tyres, that's an indication that it's going to be a one-stop race for him as well. So let's just see if he can keep the tyre in great condition to get to the end of the race. Declan is still chasing down Humbug. Humbug's got to be quite careful not to get drawn into a battle with Declan, because Declan will have to pit again, where Humbug shouldn't have to. Fletcher Boy is doing quite a good job with Ramavaj. Ramavaj's got obviously a performance boost with the Ultrasoft tyres, and that is his second set of the Ultrasofts in the race. So Fletcher Boy staying within 5 seconds is a good job, but in the next few laps you'd expect Fletcher Boy to start gaining a couple of attempts per lap on Ramavaj when performance starts to drop.
You just wonder when Ramavaj is going to pit next.
That's it, he's got to choose that very wisely. We're on board with Racing Podge, having a look at the Ferrari Gamey Thing still not being able to make a move, so that looks like it'll be another lap behind him. S. Graham is all over the back of Blood and Sand, going down the long back straight, DRS wide open. Let's see if S. Graham can do it and get past Blood and Sand. Ultrasoft tyres for S. Graham in a Mercedes. He can't make the move. Do you think DRS actually aids down that long straight or not?
Well, what I've been seeing of it, it doesn't, because they don't seem to get past whatsoever.
Yeah, it looks like as the years go on with the different changes to the cars, a lot of DRS is becoming ineffective. So Racing Podge is still trying to get past Gamey Things. That could be a battle that lasts a few laps. Declan is so close to Humbug as well. Dips below the 1 second mark. He's got to keep below 1 second when they go over the DRS activation so we can get that DRS boost, but like we say, it's not happening at the moment. Racing Podge is also behind Gamey Things, less than 2 tenths of a second between them. Going through the S's, they will follow each other. Well, Racing Podge will follow Gamey Things. Declan is still half a second behind Humbug, so we'll just stay with Podge as closest to Gamey Things. Closest battle we've got on field at the moment, but S. Graham is having a look at Blood and Sand as well. S. Graham
I've just been working it out carefully. S. Graham's going to have to pit again soon, and Smelly Badger will obviously move up into 10th. You've got Gaius Mudkip will move up, but there seems to be a little battle between Smelly Badger, Gaius Mudkip and Lord JB.
Yeah, it could
and
be
if
an
it's going to happen, that will be a fight for the final points position.
So Racing Podge still cannot get past Gamey Things. Quite tough there for the Renault drivers. It's got I'd probably have a little think, maybe drop back a little bit, try and preserve the tyres for a little lap or two and just go for one big run. He's going to try and make a move on the Ferrari driver. Let's see. Oh, he does it. It looks like quite a clean move as well. A bit of rubber coming off the tyres there, but Racing Podge finally gets past Gamey Things. Racing Podge will have to pit again, but Gamey Things is staying out. A lot of drivers making the interesting choice to stay to go onto these soft tyres during the pits. Fletcher Boy 4.1 seconds now behind Ramavaj, so the performance is dropping off Ramavaj's tyres. It's going to make it interesting for Fletcher Boy. Gamey Things is 4 tenths a second behind Racing Podge. Got DRS wide open going up to the big climb up to turn 1. Let's see what Gamey Things can do. He's took the inside line and he's done a brilliant move there, but the switch back for the Renault driver, and Racing Podge gets that position back. They're going to go through the S's with Gamey Things right behind Racing Podge. Brilliant little bit of move there, great driving by both drivers. Declan 4 tenths of a second behind Humbug. Humbug seems to be struggling on the softer tyres. Fletcher Boy dips below that 4 second mark between him and Ramavaj as well.
Maybe that's a sign of Ramavaj's tyres are starting to go now. If Fletcher Boy is starting to lower that time down.
Oh, look at that, guys. It makes a mistake and allows Lord JB to get into 12th position. So that's encouraging news there for Lord JB. If he can just keep it on track, try and keep these tyres controlled and see if we can get the performance to last for the rest of the race. 3.7 seconds between Fletcher Boy and Ramavaj now. So Ramavaj will have to start thinking about pit stops very, very soon.
I've just been watching Declan. He's been behind Humbug for nearly 2 laps now. He keeps getting DRS range on him, but he just can't use it to good effect at the minute.
Yeah, it's on some tracks it's so ineffective, it's just not worth having, but it does give a driver hope when the DRS light goes green.
And as you see now, Declan is not in DRS range and he's got a 3 second time penalty.
There you go, pushing quite hard there. We're on ball with Gamey Things. He's trying to get that position back from Racing Podge. These two having a great little battle and they're keeping it clean and some decent moves as well. Look at Gamey Things having a look on the inside going into the last corner. He's going to have DRS activation. There he goes. He's activated. He's right behind the Renault driver. Racing Podge sticks to his line. He's trying to take the outside going into turn 1. Gamey Things making the correct call, I think, to go on the inside. Let's see what happens. Ooh, cuts the corner a little bit there going into turn 1.
What's interesting me is I'm just trying to work out now what Ramavaj is doing, because It's either go on the super softs or the softs. And if I was him, I'd go in any time now.
Yeah, I think this lap, I think if he goes beyond lap 18, I think it's going to cost him too much. He's already dropped
Because
9 tenths of a
I've been sitting
second.
there thinking about it. You'd only really go to about over lap 20 if you're going to put on ultra softs at the very end.
Yeah, it's quite odd there. So either he's going to proper attack on the super soft tyres, which we assume he's going to go on, or he's made a bad tactical mistake. But we all know
Fletcher boy is
Ramovac.
down to 2.8 seconds.
Look at that, that is
And he is
brilliant.
in the pits. And he is in the pits, Ramovac.
Ramovac pitting. If you can just see where Ramovac will come out, it should get in front of Chopper, but it's going to be quite tight. On board with Lord JB.
I think he'll come out in second. He's putting on supers. He might just get out in second, but it's going to be. He should do. Chopper's coming around the last corner now, and Ramovac is just at the end of the pit lane now. Yeah, Ramovac is going to be in second.
So this
But
is it
Chopper can
now.
see him, though.
Fletcher boy has got a job on his hand. He's got to go 11 laps on worn soft tyres. They won't be heavily worn yet, but he's got a resurgence of a super soft tyres on the car of Ramovac. So Ramovac is just under 16 seconds behind him. So it's going to be quite an interesting battle. I'd say probably 3 laps to the end. Ramovac should be within DRS range of Fletcher boy.
That's what I was about to say. If my
Racing Punch
calculations were right, it would be about 3 laps towards the end. He should be on the back of Fletcher boy.
Smelly Badger is pitting. He's on the soft tyres. That's unexpected. So he's going to probably switch to the ultra soft tyres. I probably expect a few guys who went in early on soft tyres to probably pit again. It could
What's
improve.
interesting as well is Lord JB's in 10th place.
Yeah, he's gained through drivers pitting, but they will be on the attack for Lord JB going into the late stages of the race. So Decadent has got another Ferrari driver in front of him. He's got Game of Things teammate Blood and Sand. So Decadent is on the ultra soft tyres, just recently pitted for him, so he's going to have a huge performance boost over Blood and Sand and Game of Things, both Ferrari drivers.
That's the only real battle on the track at the minute between Blood and Sand and Decadent.
So let's see what these guys can do. Decadent is not really seen him as an attacking driver. He does have some good moves during the race, but not one driver that sticks out that will go after car after car of just passing them. So it's quite interesting, especially on a track like this where overtaking on this track is quite hard, considering DRS doesn't really have an effect. We'll keep a little watch on the time difference between Fletcher Boy and Ramovac. Currently at 14.6
That's what I'm watching at the minute.
on lap 18. So let's see what we can get with lap 20. Let's see.
Decadent nearly went into the back of Blood and Sand there.
Oh, Chopper's getting a 3-second time penalty. That is going to be quite interesting between him and Humbug into the late stages of the race. So
Down to 13.9 seconds now from 14.6.
7 tenths of a second per lap.
13.8.
Look at that, Decadent trying to have a little sneaky move on Blood and Sand going into turn 1. They're going to go through following in the S's, but Decadent, he's having issues. Oh, he's had a bit of contact with Blood and Sand there. That was, that's the Ferrari front wing going.
That's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to go side by side through them S's.
Yeah, it's always better to follow than try and attack, and it's an interesting move there.
It is good. It is good to see side by side action going through there, but once you have a collision through there, that's it.
That's going to cost Blood and Sand going down this back straight with half a wing missing. It's 2 seconds away now from Decadence. It cost him pretty big. Wonder if we'll get a driver submit a claim with the stewards afterwards.
Ramovac is now down to 13.1, but I'm just going to wait until he goes over the finish line to see what it is now. Still 13.1, but he's put in the fastest lap of 1:36.5.
That's very quick. He's just shy, 2 seconds shy of the qualifying time that he set. So it's very actually brilliant that a driver could be within 2 seconds of his qualifying lap. Because, you know, in quali you run light on fuel, you're very light, and you attack the track with.
He's got a 3-second time penalty, Ramovac.
Oh, there we go. So that's quite interesting for Ramovac. He's not usually one for getting penalties. 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Gaming Things, who's given up on the soft tyres to go on the super softs. Decadent gaining a position. He's already pitted. Blood and Sand will be in the pit as well because he's had to get a new nose, and he's actually going to be double stacked because Gamey Things is pitted, so that's not great. Must be no
Lord
communication
JB's going
between
to make another
teammates.
spot, going into 9th.
That is going to help him out so much. Lord JB getting a couple of positions from guys making a few mistakes there, losing a bit of front wing, etc. It just opens it up for Lord JB. Ramavaj is 12.6 seconds now behind Fletcher Boy on lap 19 out of 28. So it's going to be quite a good few laps coming near the end of the race, where we should have a great battle between Ramavaj and Fletcher Boy if Ramavaj continues with this pace.
Could see a battle here down the back straight between Gamey Things. I know Race Pod is out of DRS range now. Oh no, he's backing out. I'm not sure if he had it. No, he hasn't got it.
So just
I thought
out
he was in
of
DRS
the
range at first, but he
must have
wasn't.
been about a tenth of a second out of the activation point for his DRS. Lee now is having a solid drive, currently 5th at the moment. He needs to ideally get in front of Humbug, because Humbug's 10 points in front of him in Drivers' Championship, but Ramavaj is doing the best he can. He ideally needs to win this race to close the gap down to Techno Frillo, who's not racing tonight due to other commitments. 12.2 seconds now. Looks like Ramavaj is actually not gaining 7 tenths of a second per lap now. Gone down to 6 tenths, but looks like Fletcher Boy might be struggling a little bit, because Ramavaj gained 6 tenths in one sector, which usually he was doing over the laps. That's quite interesting there.
Problem is, what you got to remember now is, I know it says it's 11.6 seconds, but you got to add that 3-second penalty onto that.
Oh yeah, of course, that I will write that down.
So he is 14 seconds basically behind, because he's now got to try and get 3 seconds in front of him if he's going to win this race.
Be quite. I don't know if Fletcher Boy will know the penalty. I'm sure he should do it flash on his screen as well.
I've not seen Fletcher Boy having a penalty yet either.
So, well, if he's aware of Ramavaj's penalty, that could make it. He might let Ramavaj go past him as long as he can stay within like 3-second window. But it's a risky move to do, because if you get yourself a penalty, it kind of ruins it for yourself. So probably Fletcher Boy's doing the best he can.
Trying to work it out. I don't think we're saying 3 laps before the end. Ramavaj should be on the back of him. I think it might be 2 laps instead. I don't think it's going to be on 3 laps.
Well, there we go. That's interesting prediction. So we're going to go on board with Smelly Badger. He's chasing down his teammate, looks like. Oh, he's gone wide through the S's. Made a little bit of miss. Oh, and he's crashed into the wall. Oh, that's a bad mistake to make.
I just saw the wheel go off.
Oh, that was a terrible mistake, and it's cost him big into the S's. It's very difficult. If you get it wrong, it does mess you up, but didn't expect him to mess it up that bad. Could have been debris on the tyre, a bit of mud or anything that's just helped him into the wall. 10.8 seconds now between Ramavaj and Fletcher Boy, minus the penalty included.
Just looking through the field, there's no one near each other now. They've all started to spread out a little bit.
I think the battles are probably going to come to us in a few laps. I expect Lord JB to get under pressure as well, because he pitted quite early in the race for them soft tyres. I think he pitted within a few laps of the start.
Problem is though, S. Graham is 16.2 seconds behind him.
Be quite interested to see what the time is. He's gaining so much time now over Lord JB. Declan getting a 3-second time penalty as well. It's going to put him at risk. I think it's a second penalty, if I'm right. It's going to put him at risk of Gamey Things getting that position when they cross the finish line. Racing Podge also getting a 3-second time penalty. The Renault drivers are just collecting the penalties. They should be collecting the points. That would be better for their constructors' bid. So
I think you are right. I think Declan did get a penalty earlier on. I can't remember now.
So Lee now looks like safe from Declan. So it's Lee now. He needs to get in front of Humbug. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near close to Ramavaj, but Ramavaj doing everything he needs to. He just needs to get into first position. So it's 10.3 seconds now behind Fletcher Boy. I got a funny feeling.
One good thing I've noticed for Williams as well tonight is if they've been in the top 5, it's good for them in the Constructors' Championship, knowing that Haas are not here tonight.
Exactly. Currently they've got 11-point lead in the Constructors' Championship.
Lee Nell's in the pits.
Lee Nell will be going on the ultra soft. He's going to be super quick at the end, but he could lose probably 1 position, maybe 2 positions in this pit stop if he can get it right.
Decadent will be past them. Decadent's just come around the last corner, going down the pit straight. Yeah, Decadent's past him. I'm just going to see if Gamey Things around the last corner now. No, Lee Nell's going to be in 6th, but he's going to have Gamey Things all over the back of him.
So Decadent
Yep,
on
he
the
has.
Ultra Softs, but he's got tons of penalty lead now, just coming out of the pits on the Ultra Softs, and Gaming Things right behind him. Just a second separates them. Under 10 seconds now is Ramovaj's gap between him and Fletcher Boy in first position.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be 2 laps near the end where Ramvaj is going to be on the back of him.
On board with Blood and Sand, he's had to pit for a new nose after damage with a Renault driver early on. He's 7 tenths of a second behind S. Graham. S. Graham on the super soft tyres. So dipping now below the 9 seconds between Ramovaj and Fletcher Boy. It's heating up for that tense battle come the end of the race. Ramovaj's got to put some pressure down on Fletcher Boy though, because Ramovaj is carrying a 3-second time penalty going in to the final classification. Guys, this Mudkip 3-second time penalty as well. Corner cutting. Stewards are very, very strict round here, looks like, on the game. The Ferrari driver is right on the back of S. Graham now. S. Graham's got to do everything he can to try and hold off this charge by the Ferrari. He's taking the inside line, but he's going to Blood and Sand's going to have DRS, and he's got such a improved pace over the Mercedes driver on, I'd assume, very worn super soft tyres. So Blood and Sand getting into 10th. He's going to be chasing down Lord JB. There's 20 seconds between them. I don't think there's enough laps in the race. S. Graham's trying to have a little look at trying to get past Blood and Sand again, but I think tyre performance is just going to make this an unfair fight, as 5 tenths of a second now separates them. Oh, he's gained a couple of attempts there. It looks like he did a bit of late braking, but it's cost him, and he's gone a little bit wide out of the tight little left corner. So it's 7.7 seconds now between Ramovaj and Fletcher Boy. 7.5. It's going to be quite tight actually. I don't know if Ramovaj will actually get there.
3-second time penalty.
Do you think Ramovaj's going to get anywhere close to Fletcher Boy? I don't think he's going to do it.
I think it'll be 2 laps before the end. That's where I think it'll happen.
I said 3 laps before the end.
Maybe 1 lap.
Right.
But then you still got to remember he's got that 3-second penalty as well. So he is basically got another penalty. S. Graham.
S. Graham getting quite a few penalties there, collecting them. Not the best thing to be collecting in F1. Look at Lee now having a lonely race, but he's
just cut across the S's there. Another 3-second penalty he's got. He's cutting another corner.
It's go on, but yeah, he's 10 seconds. Oh, what happened there? Did that look like a rage quit?
I'm not too sure. When I saw the second 3-second penalty, I thought it was a repeat of it, but it weren't.
No, he got 3-second time penalties and a 10-second time penalty, and he crashed into all. That'd be an interesting discussion between him and the steward, guaranteed. Let's see.
Down to 6.9 now.
There we go, 6.9. Let's go on board with Ramovaj. So he's driving for Red
nice
Bull.
From Lee now.
Oh, look at that! He's actually on the. He's got new Ultra Softs on, so that's probably why. But Humbug's got a 3-second time penalty. That's interesting for him in the terms of Drivers' Championship. It shouldn't cost him too much in the race. Decadent 14 seconds and a couple of penalties to his name. Under 7 seconds now between Ramovaj and Fletcher Boy. Fletcher Boy looks. Let's see if we can get a little look on his tyres anywhere soon. See if there's too much wear to him, but he's doing quite well. Lap 24 out of 28, and he's got a healthy lead. It's like a net.
The thing is now, what Fletcher Boy will do now is he'll just keep it. He hasn't got to push nothing. Just pull it down to lane when he needed, and just, I wouldn't say cruise your way home, because you don't really want to cruise around it. You just want to take it nice and easy.
See, it's an interesting one for Fletcher Boy, because he's got heavily worn tyres and he's got Ramovaj behind him, but he doesn't want to take it too easy to allow Ramovaj to get close, but then you don't want to push too hard and you lose your race win. But I think it's a great win for him.
Tyres must be going soon as well.
Yeah, that's it. He's on the slightly softer compound than Fletcher Boy.
I'm trying to think what lap he put them on. I think it was lap 17. I think it was.
Yes, I think you're right.
Or was it lap 16? I can't remember what lap it was.
Not too sure, but he's 5.5 seconds now. Ramovaj has got to put in the laps of his life to try and chase down Fletcher Boy. You can see him. You can just about see him coming out the exit of the corner before the long back straight. So it's going to be encouraging him. Let's see where Lord JB. Lord JB is in 9th. He's getting chased down by Blood and Sand, but Blood and Sand will not have the performance to get anywhere close to him. So Linau is a second behind Decadent. He's gaining a tenth of a second now every couple of corners. So very, very good pace for Linau. Decadent got a couple of penalties, so Linau should get 5th place if he carries on. 5.3 seconds
DRS
now.
on Decadent down this back straight.
Go on board. There we go. The Williams
Gets
driver.
a good exit, and he has.
There we go. DRS is now activated. He's going to try and chase down the Renault of Decadent. Decadent with a ton of penalties, so he probably just let Linau pass, but knowing him, he's a driver, he's going to try and defend his position as much as possible. Linau having a little lock-up going there. Looks like he went on the dirty side of the track there. Linau having a little look. It's going to get very close and tasty. Linau getting the inside line, but Decadent's trying to come back at him. Now Decadent gets the inside line, Linau gone on the outside. No little lock-ups there, nice and tidy. He's going to get past because of the tyre performance the Ultra Softs will give him, because Decadent's Ultra Softs have been on a few laps longer.
Ooh.
Decadent's still giving it though. He's still trying to keep that position. Linau going wide and he gets a 3-second time penalty. That is going to be quite interesting. I think Decadent's got 2, so Linau's got 1 to my knowledge at the moment. So Linau's got to try and keep it nice and calm.
That's one thing that's interesting on this track as well, on set to 3. At one point you can have the inside line, next thing your opponent next to you has got the inside line. So it just shows how quickly it can change from you having the inside line, then you've got to go down the outside of them.
Exactly, yeah, it can ruin your lap if you just overthink it a bit too much, because you overthink it too much and you allow that guy through. 4.2 seconds now on lap 26 out of 28 is Ramavaj's gap, plus 3-second time penalty would be net 7 seconds behind Fletcher Boy. It looks like Fletcher Boy has done the race of his life.
You can see Fletcher Boy, because you just see him go around that corner there.
Look at Linau, he's still trying to get past him.
This is going to be close between the top 2.
We'll try and join that battle at any minute, as long as we'll just see when Linau gets past Decadent. It's going to happen, no offence to Decadent, it's just Linau has got newer tyres, so he's going to have such a huge performance over Decadent going down the back straight with DRS wide open. Let's see if Linau can have a little look at Decadent.
I've seen no one get past anyone down that back straight, even when you've got DRS. Ooh.
Oh, look at that, nice move. Look like a little bit of a bad exit of the corner for Decadent's cost him. Linau gets past. We're going to go switch to Ramavaj.
I think Decadent was just wet the back of him, but I didn't see any of his front wing come off, so he might have just had a lucky escape there.
Look at Ramavaj, 3.4 seconds on track is the difference. Forget about the penalties for now. We've got 1.5 laps of Ramavaj trying to chase down Fletcher Boy.
What we were saying a little while ago about him pitting, did he pit just a little bit too early or not?
It could be that. It
not
could
too
be
late, not too early, too late, sorry.
It could have been race strategy as well. He could have switched this for his second pit. He could have gone on the Super Softs instead of the Ultra Softs. No, his first pit, sorry. If he'd have got his Ultra Softs and left them for the end of the race, it could have probably drew him a bit closer to it than he is now. It was a big gap to chase, to be fair, but Ramavaj's pace, you kind of thought it was
be interesting
easy
to find out.
Yeah, it will be definitely in the drivers' interviews, which will be happening after the race. So a lap and a little bit for Ramavaj to try and get close. You can see Fletcher Boy right in front of him, so it's going to just entice him to try and go a little bit quicker, try not to get a corner cutting penalty. That would help him see what Fletcher Boy is doing. He's got a ghosting car in front of him, so no problem there. He's going around the last corner on the penultimate lap. He's going to start his last lap of the US Grand Prix, and he's 2.5 seconds in front of Ramavaj, so it's going to be quite tight come the end of the lap, I think, but looks like Fletcher Boy might have this one up.
I've been enjoying watching this. I've just been watching Chopper and Humbug for quite a while, and I think I've been watching it since lap 20, and that gap has stayed the same. It's been going between 4 seconds and 4.4 seconds the whole time, and I've just been watching them both. Them two seem to have had a good race tonight so far. Yeah,
it just shows you that no matter how long the lap is in miles, kilometres, whatever you want, a good driver will stay within a tenth or two of his fellow competitor on lap times. Ramavaj has dipped below the 2 seconds now, 1.6 now. It's going to be quite enticing. Let's see what we can get to going up to the end of sector 2.
Yeah, I'd love to have had DRS down here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see. Oh, it's so temptingly close, but I don't think he's going to have enough in it. Let's see what Fletcher Boy can do. He's got, if he can keep in front of him on track, it's going to be the penalty. It's going to punish Ramavaj. And will that penalty then affect Ramovaj going in the Drivers' Championship against Techno Thriller? Because he will gain some points on him, but he needs to ideally get first position. Look at that. Fletcher Boy's done well on his tyres. One stopped the race and he's only 1.2 seconds in front of a car that's done 2 stops and on fresh tyres. Under a second now. This is going to get quite tasty. I don't think Ramovaj will go for the dive bomb. There we go. Fletcher Boy going around the last corner on his last lap. He does a little bit of a weave. He's won the race. Nice and fairly from Ramovaj. Ramovaj getting a penalty. That's 3.8 seconds between them. Chopper coming round. Last few corners of his lap. He's going to get a well-deserved 3rd position. So, thoughts on Fletcher Boy and Ramovaj's battle? We didn't get the battle we were intending to see. Do you reckon that's due to strategy call from Ramovaj?
I think so. I don't think he was going ultra softs in that first pit stop. I think he's made a mistake there, or the game's made a mistake for him. You just don't know. But I think he should have gone. I think he should have gone on to super softs and gone as long as possible with them, and then used ultras at the end. And he might have caught up with him.
So my maths works out it would leave Ramovaj on 186 points to Techno's 212. So that is going to be quite a tight little battle going into it. So it's 14, 16, 26
Nathan
points.
Podge is going to have 8th position.
So currently
JB's going to come home in 9th.
There you go. A good race from him. A bad start to the race, but he still gets a couple of points there. Blood and Sand also had wing damage during the race through a little bit of a contact with, I think it was Racing Podge, but I could be wrong. But he's going to get a decent point for him.
And then Geitz Mudkip gets the unlucky number 11.
There we go. So there will be a 26-point gap between Ramovaj and Techno Thriller for the next race. So Techno Thriller still got that safety of a whole race victory between him and Ramovaj. But it just shows you the pressure's there.
What Techno Thriller does next week, because I've known some people when they ever miss a race, sometimes they come back the week after and they're a bit stronger from it.
Oh, look at all the penalties there. Fletcher Boy not getting a penalty at all, which is brilliant driving from him as well. So Fletcher Boy getting a win. It's a well-deserved win as well. Ramovaj 2nd, 3rd Chopper, that is your top 3. 4th is Humbug, 5th Lee Now, Declan 6th, 7th is Gamey Things, Racing Podge 8th, 9th it's Lord JB, 10th Blood and Sand, guys. It's Mudkip is 7th out of the finishers.
Well, driver of the day is going to be easy.
Go on then, let's hear it.
Fletcher Boy, because he hasn't got a penalty, and to go and do a 1-stop to win the race as well. But that's probably the easiest driver of the day I could give it to.
I totally agree with you. Brilliant drive by him. So
got his strategy spot on tonight, and he's taken the win with it.
So would you like to invite Fletcher Boy, Ramovaj and Chopper into the chat, please, John?
Yeah, will do. Fletcher Boy, Ramovaj.
So there you guys, that was quite a tactical race there. It was like a game of chess between Ramovaj and Fletcher Boy during the race. So it could be, that could be the story going forward, especially into the next round as well, round 18. So we'll just wait for these drivers to join us in the drivers chat. So remember, go to www.facebook.com/SpeedForceRacingPS4 or www.instagram.com/SpeedForceRacingPS4. Give us a little message, follow us. So there you go, John has invited the drivers, so we'll just see what the mood will be like with Ramovaj, if he got his strategy call right or not.
That'll be the first question that I'm going to ask him.
Well, we'll allow John can lead on the interviews today if you want to.
I'll let you go first with Fletcher because I ain't got a question for him yet.
Okay. We'll just wait for these
I've
drivers.
got my one with Ramovaj, so I'm going to remember that because I forgot my one for someone last Thursday, but I've got this one in my head.
There we go, brilliant. That should be an interesting question there. So just wait for these guys. They're a little bit slow, probably still getting off the podium. Dripping wet with champagne. Let's see, here we go. We've got Fletcher Boy Brilliant race by the driver. Let's wait for Ramovaj and also Chopper to join us. Chopper, brilliant. Just waiting for Peter.
That champagne, you can give it to me if you want, boys.
Where's Peter?
Good evening.
There we go. Right, great race, guys. So we'll start with our first place. So, Josh, how did you find your race? Did you expect to win that race?
No, I didn't, to be honest. It was good, but I was so slow at the end because my tyres were on 72%, so I was thinking the classics was going to happen all over again.
Was your intention always to go one stop?
Yeah.
You worked out well. So, did you take a positive that you were quicker than Peter?
Yeah, obviously he's a quick driver and happy to beat him, but I'm sure he'll beat me again next week.
So great job on your win there, Josh. We'll go to John, who's going to ask Peter a question.
Yeah, Peter, your first pit stop, was it supposed to be ultra softs, or was you supposed to put on a different tyre?
Well, I was thinking about doing a monster, but I was just like out of my mind when I saw the guys put on the soft tires, because I thought like you cannot make the race on the soft tires, so that's why I went for the ultras and then the super softs, I believe. Yes.
So is it last week you got a great strategy call. This week, do you reckon maybe your strategy call wasn't up to the same standard, where you maybe have let slip a win because you were so close to Josh on track going on the last lap? If you'd have had the ultra softs, would that have been a benefit to you?
Well, I think I would be able to catch him if I was quicker on the ultra softs, but for some reason I was just slow on the ultras, and then I had to push on the super softs to catch him, but I had a penalty, so from then on I settled down for P2.
Okay, brilliant. Chopper, great third position for you. How did it feel to get that third?
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted, mate. Two guys ahead of me today I just couldn't get anywhere near them. Just hoping to hold off Humbug. Managed to just manage the gap back to him. And so third place is the best I could have done today, so I'm over the moon.
Do you see yourself maybe you've got better race pace than quali pace? Because you are thereabouts with qualifying, but it seems your race pace is just pushing you further up the field.
Yeah, definitely. Quali is something I'm definitely going to have to improve on. Even though I'm not too far down the field, definitely feel more comfortable in a race.
Okay, that's brilliant to look forward to. So we'll go and see if John's got a question for Josh.
No, all I can say is just good race tonight, and your strategy paid off well.
Josh, going through the season, it looks like you've gained a lot more time. Is that just through dedication with practice, or is it just finding your flow?
It's just practice, to be honest, just practice more. So, yeah.
Would you say that you're practicing to try and... would you say that Ramovaj is the yardstick where you're trying to get your practice in to try and get as quick as him?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
So, Ramovaj, you are currently on 186 points after today's race. So, Techno's on 212 points. Would you see that you've got a shot at the title?
Definitely.
Are you going to go for it? You're hunting him down, yeah?
Yeah, that would be the plan for me.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to allow you to leave and enjoy your night's work, and we'll see you next week for the next round of Speedforce Racing's Championship debut season.
Thank you. See ya.
Cheers, guys. Good
Cheers,
race.
guys.
Remember to leave that champagne.
There we go, all the drivers are leaving. So, quite an interesting race. It was more a tactical race through the pits, which is more like modern F1 these days. It's all done through the pit stops. But it's interesting to see that Ramavad is still the yardstick for certain drivers, considering this is his 7th race of the season, because he missed quite a huge chunk of races due to other commitments. So quite interesting, but still the ball is with Techno Thriller. He's got a 26-point lead going into the next race next week, so he will be back next week, and he's got a lot of defending to do. So we're going to end the stream. We've got no classic series no more.
The one thing with that, with Ramavad as well, if tonight's race, you just don't know that could just cost him the end, because it's now 26 points. If he'd won that, it would have been down to 19.
And yeah, that's it. Techno's still got that race
win. And if you
win.
look at it, does that 6 or 7 points, if that finishes like that at the end of the season, Ramavad might look at it and think, you know what, tonight's race might have been the one that might have given Techno the championship, but we'll know a bit more next week.
Exactly that, yes. So remember to click on our social media channels. We've got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So hit us up on there. We will be back next Wednesday for the race at round 17. No, race at round 18. There you go. Round 18 next week. So it should be quite a tense battle, I'd say, for Techno. He's got a lead to protect. He's got a 26-point gap. So he can afford to DNF and Ramavad to win, but it'd be quite tight going into the last 2 races.
And with next week as well, there's a lot of people know it, especially all these drivers. Pole position, I think a lot of people don't want to be there, because a lot of drivers are going to have slipstream going down to that turn 1.
Yeah, Mexico's very, very an odd one there. It's such a long rundown that you can just slipstream. It's a little bit like Spa. If you start first and second going down long straight there, it's quite easy to get a nice tow going along. So it's going to be interesting, and probably another tactical battle probably next week between the likes of Fletcher's Boy, Techno Thriller, Nowak and Ramavad. Going to end the footage now, so remember to join us next week 8:25 PM GMT for round 18 of Speed Force Racing's debut season. Been Adam, joined by John. We'll catch you next week. Good night.
Good night.